cannot run in circles. You have to keep running around the place. Have to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. There you go, there you go, there you go. Oh, sorry, it broke. Sorry, go back, go back, go back. If it broke, go back. You have 10 seconds. 10 seconds, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's over. Good job, guys. That was pretty good. Okay, who? I think, oh, Story finished it. Good job, Story. Okay, you can take off the toilet paper. You can leave it here at the front. So now, awesome. Oh, you need a scissor? Okay, you got it. Yeah, you can just put the toilet paper on one side. We'll pick that up at the end. Okay, guys. So now, I'm gonna ask you to sit down. Let's settle down. Yeah, sure. Well, I'm pretty sure anybody want to use that. Yes. No, we're not gonna do that for the boys' bathroom. Okay, guys. Now, I need you guys to settle down. Good job. And now we're gonna transition to our word by Shelly. You, you ready, Shelly? Oh, wait. She's ready. We're almost ready. So great job, guys. The lights are going down. There you go. Hello, welcome. Take a seat. Right, you ready? There you go.
That was amazing. Story, great job. But Avery, I saw you trying really hard. Your sweater just kept bunching up. All right, we're going to jump into a little time in the Word, in God's Word, in the Bible. And we're going to have a theme this summer because I love themes in the summer. And this summer's theme is what do you think it is? Adventure. Oh my gosh, no way. Great. Well, okay, so who in here, girls right here, who in here is the baby of the family? Raise your hand if you're like, oh, there are so many babies or only child. Okay, wow, I am not alone. So growing up, I was the baby of the family. And so I was considered my brother's little shadow. All I ever wanted to do was everything he was doing. And so I would follow him around everywhere. I'd follow him around. I want to do everything that he was doing that I was just considered my brother's shadow. Luckily, I had a really kind older brother who let me be his shadow and would invite me to join in on all his adventures. But if you knew my brother, he was crazy. And he loved crazy adventures. Like, he was the biggest daredevil that I ever knew. And he would take me on some of the wildest adventures ever. Like, he's someone who's like, you can snowboard down a mountain, or you can build your own jumps and jump off picnic benches and fences and all of that. He's like, why would you go to a mountain when you can make it yourself? He would motocross. He one time took me spelunking. Has anybody been spelunking or know what that is? You have, yes. It is cave diving. It is, you are going through little holes in a dark cave, and you are, it's scary. I didn't know I was doing it, but I said, I want to hang out with my brother, so I went. And another thing that my brother did, let's put up this picture, is he took me to the top, the highest peak in the Phoenix area in Arizona. And a lot of times his adventures were just like, hey, Shelly, you want to go on an adventure? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right, follow me. And I'd go up, and I had no idea that when I got to this, it was a hike for a while, and I was like, this is really fun. Like, this is the most mellow thing we've ever done together. And then when we got closer to the top, I was like, well, I don't know how we're getting up there. I guess the hike's over. And he's like, no, we're climbing. We are climbing up. And I was like, great, where's the climbing gear? He goes, no, we're just going to climb up ourselves and get up there. What? No. But I love my brother, so I did it. And I had an amazing adventure taking that risk, climbing up this mountain, literally like, it was insane. And I had this beautiful view and this beautiful adventure, and it was so much fun. And whenever my brother would invite me on an adventure, I always said yes. I always wanted to do that. Now, I didn't always participate. I didn't always do it. Sometimes I just sat and watched him, and I learned from him because I wasn't ready to do it yet. But whenever my brother invited me, I knew it would be worth it to at least go with him. Go and see him do something that he loves or go and participate with him because I knew it was going to be worth it. And tonight we're going to look at a story in the Bible where Jesus invited his first disciples to join him on the adventure that he was going on. And the disciples is a fancy word for followers of Jesus. So it's just a really fancy word of those that were following Jesus. They called them disciples. And we're going to see in this story why we call them followers of Jesus. So here's what it says. It's going to be up on the screen in Mark 4. It's always hard with the microphone. Mark 4, 18 through 22. It says, one day, as Jesus was walking along the shore of the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, also called Peter, and Andrew, throwing a net into the water, for they fished for a living. Jesus called out to them, come, follow me, and I will show you how to fish for people. And they left their nets at once and followed him. A little farther up the shore, he saw two other brothers, James and John, sitting in a boat with their father, Zebedee, repairing their nets. And he called them to come too. They immediately followed him, leaving the boat and their father behind. Gosh, and I love this story so much because to me, what's fascinating, ladies, eyes up here, what's fascinating is that they immediately dropped everything and followed Jesus. Like, to me, when I read that story, I'm like, that's crazy. I'd ask a few questions. Excuse me, who are you? Where are we going? What are we doing? But there's something interesting about who Jesus was, that to them, it was worth it to run after Jesus and follow him. They knew that it was going to be far more interesting than what they had going on in their lives today. And so when I read this story and I look at this reaction, I think there's two things for us to think about with this. Is first, when we look at this, following Jesus starts with an invitation. And this invitation was for these disciples, but this invitation was also for you. And we see in this story, Jesus walking along the shore, and he sees two guys. And he could have just been like, nah, see ya, and kept walking. But instead, he saw them, and he invited them, and he said, hey, come follow me. I'm going to show you some new things, a new way to fish. And so they were like, great, okay. And they got up, and they went to go be with Jesus. Then what I find interesting is Jesus already had two people following him. But he saw another crew as he kept walking, and he said, hey, follow me. And Jesus didn't have to invite the others, but he did. He did invite them. He wanted them to know that you are welcomed and invited to follow me. And immediately, both of these groups of people got up, and they were like, I want to follow you, Jesus. But when I read this story, I'm like, but why? Why would they leave everything with what Jesus said and follow him? And here's what I think. I think an invitation is powerful. An invitation, when someone invites you to something, it is so powerful. Think about it. When you get invited to something special, whether it's a birthday party, it's an event, think of a time when you got an invitation to something, a graduation, a wedding, whatever it is. Do you feel so special in that moment that you got invited? You're like, no way. Out of all the people they could have invited, they chose me. And I remember when I was in middle school, in 6th grade, I went to a new middle school. And I had gone to a different school for elementary school, and everybody else had gone to this public school together, and I didn't really know a lot of people. And I remember my first birthday party that I got invited to. And I was like, wow, somebody wants me to be their friend. Someone is inviting me to their birthday party. I wasn't just this classmate that they had, but they see me, they care about me, and they want to invite me into their life. And I felt so special in that moment. And anytime we're invited, we feel so special. And I think that's what happened with these disciples, is they felt so seen and loved. Because really, in their life, they weren't the most popular, they weren't the wealthiest, they weren't the coolest. They didn't have a lot going for them that would be like, of course you would invite them. They were fishermen. They did their job. It was hard. And yet Jesus saw them and invited them. And I love this because this invitation that Jesus did with his disciples, he is doing today with us. And he is inviting you to follow him. He's looking at you and saying, man, I care so much about you. Malachi, he's saying, I love you and I care about you. And he's like, I want you to be a part of my life. He's saying, Story, I love you and I care about you. I want you to follow me. He's saying that to each and every one of you. He's inviting you to follow him. And we get to say yes to come and follow him. And when we follow him, he says he's going to show us things. He's going to teach us things. And that's exciting, new ways to do things. But here's what you need to know. If you're going to jump off the boat and run after Jesus, just like the disciples, you need to know that's going to be like an adventure, okay? It's going to be like an adventure. And an adventure, I kind of pulled off the definition, is any kind of exciting experience that is bold or risky undertaking. So it's exciting, it's both exciting and it's risky. Exciting, like so much fun. I'm gonna have the best time ever, thrilling, but there's a little bit of risk to it, a little bit of challenge that you have to do. And I think the disciples, when they stepped out of that boat, they said, I'm gonna do this. I think it's gonna be something exciting, but they were risking everything to follow Jesus. They knew there would be days that would be hard. They knew that there would be days that they would grow and that they would be full of joy. And then they knew there's some parts that they had no idea. And like any amazing adventure we see on TV or read in books, the characters really have no idea what they're facing. Like they say yes to an adventure and they have a goal in mind of what they're gonna do with any adventure story that you've ever read. Books, TVs, movies. And they have no idea all the obstacles that they're gonna face. Like, think of Finding Nemo, right? Has everybody sort of seen Finding Nemo? Okay, so Marlin is going to save Nemo. And he is like, this is my goal. I'm gonna save Nemo, and he's headed out on this adventure to do that. But he has no idea all the amazing and hard things that he has to face to get to that end goal. And he has so many ups and downs in the story. What are some of the things that happens to Marlin and Dory on the story? Shout it out, yeah. They get swallowed by a whale, yes! And Dory talks like this to the whale. Exciting, and then they get swallowed. Okay, what else happens in Finding Nemo? Go for it. Say that again? Oh, the crazy braces girl, where she's like, fishy! Yes, Caleb. The sharks that are trying so hard to not eat fish. Fish are friends, not, say it, okay, let's try it again. Fish are friends, not food. But they, like anybody that's trying to do something hard, they struggle. And so at one point, they smell blood, and well, they then want to eat the fish, which is Marlin and Dory. Okay, what else? What else happens? Go for it. Oh, yes! Oh, yeah, good one. Apparently they poke a jellyfish. Not only that, the only way through is through a herd of jellyfish, which they're getting shocked all the way through. That's the path that they had to take because of some choices that they made. Anything else that happens on that story? Go for it. Dory is very, very smart, and you realize at the end she knows where to go. Yes, and so you look at any adventure story, and it does not go as smoothly as you would want, right? You would say Finding Nemo, that didn't go as smooth as they probably wanted it to go. No, there were ups and downs and challenges that they had to face, but through all of that journey, they grew into new fish. They grew into new fish. And so our life may not be that crazy as Finding Nemo, where we're seeing sharks and jellyfish and all that. But we ourselves, when we say yes to Jesus, it is not that it's this perfect path. But we are on a journey with God where there are ups and downs. There's going to be moments when you have questions or doubts. There's going to be moments when you're excited about God and when you're learning so much. But I want you to know that the journey and the adventure is worth it. Just like any great adventure story, that when Jesus says, come and follow me and I will show you, and I'm going to fill in like new things. He's going to show you new things. He's inviting you on an adventure, on a journey with him, that every day he wants to guide you and lead you on this path. He's not going to abandon you. And so when Jesus invites his disciples and also invites us to follow him, we are going on this journey of faith. We don't have all the answers. There's going to be times when we're challenged, when we have questions, when we're excited about God, but all of that is good because it's going to help us grow. And so the rest of this summer, we're going to talk about more about this adventure, what God's inviting you into, what it means to be with Jesus, to follow him. We're going to look at stories of Jesus all summer long, see what does it look like to follow Jesus. But I want you to know tonight that you are invited into this relationship. You are invited to be with Jesus, to follow him, and to learn from him no matter what. We're going to jump into our small groups, but I'm going to pray for us first. Jesus, I thank you so much that you invite us, and that invitations are so powerful because we feel seen and loved and known. And Jesus, I thank you that our life with you isn't always perfect, but it is always good and fun and will help us grow and challenge ourselves, Lord. So may we say yes to your invitation. May we get excited about what you are doing in our life. We love you, Jesus, in your awesome and truly precious name. Amen. All right, so I'm going to have the leaders come up because I'm going to introduce you to the leaders real quick because we have summer leaders, a little bit different than our school year leaders. Some of them, though, will continue on in the school year, which is exciting. So I'm going to tell you who they have, who they are, and who they have going to lead. And then we're going to go, for those that haven't done this yet, we're going to have small groups in the sanctuary, in this big room. All the chairs are taken away, and we're going to have it in that space. So your leader will take you there. All right, I'm going to have you guys introduce yourself. Go for it. So we are now you're gonna stand up, you're gonna find your leader, and then you guys are gonna head into the sanctuary.